Lomax, could you please give an introduction about yourself?
Yes. Hello, Rokas. My name is Max. I am a personal and mental coach and performance coach. And I work mostly with the professional athletes and also with businessmen, businesswomen, and I help them unlock their full potential and to get better results, better performances through deep work on their mindset.
Okay. And what would you say qualifies you to be a performance coach?
I think that uh, I can speak because I had some experiences. Because a few years ago, I was in the ultra running. I ran several ultra marathons around the Mont Blanc in Europe. Maybe Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc, the most famous ultra running marathon in Europe and in the world. And so I really know what what it means to have a strong mindset, to go beyond the fatigue, to push the limits. So I was there, and now I can teach how to do that to other people. And of course, I have studied, I have practiced a lot. I have many years of personal training in coaching, in NLP programming. So I experience myself what is a strong mindset, and then I also, let me say, I train myself to have all the tools that you need to have to teach people, to understand people, and also how the brain works. Because when you have to train your mind, you it's better also to know how the brain works.
Mhm. Okay, so a very cool introduction there. You said ultra marathon running. So what made
Yeah.
you begin with that?
That's a good question. I found myself at a certain point where I got a divorce. My parents died s- in and I was really in a bad situation in my job. And then I had to find something to get out of this brutal situation. And I thought maybe if I push my limits, I can see who really I am. Who am I? The question is, can I really do something that that will give me the the reason to think that I'm still I'm still a man and I can do something good in my life. And so I started to run, and then I made this crazy thing of the first ultramarathon. It was a it was a long journey, and then I got something like an addiction, and I went to many ultramarathons. And then I also understood that I was able to share this experience, to be a model for people who were trying to look for something different in their life. And so everything started from there.
Very cool. Now I'm wondering myself, how do you actually get through an ultra marathon? Because so much of it, well, most of it is mental, right? People usually give up because
Absolutely.
they think their body can't go anymore. So, what
Yeah.
is your perspective when you're actually there and running? Are you just thinking one step at a time, or do you have a different mindset? Like, what is going on in your mind?
Yeah, you have to know, Ruckus, that one step at a time is maybe one of my is maybe my motto with all the people who follows me, all the all my clients, and I have people that sometimes I received messages from people. Few weeks ago, a guy who wrote me that with this mindset of one step at a time, he managed to to heal from a cancer. And yeah, one step at a time. Is like saying let's do another step, and the next step we'll see if we can go further, and
Yep.
then do another one, and then do another one. And if you do that for 30, 40 hours, you eventually get to the finish line. Yeah, it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but it's fun. It's so fun.
Okay, so that was a bit of a sidetrack there, just to get a understanding
Yeah.
of who you are as a person and what you do. So, with all of what you're doing, what actually ended up bringing you to the real world?
This is a great question because more or less 1 year ago, I opened in Cyprus, here where I live now, my coaching company. And at the time, I was working with an Italian company. I had this collaboration. So I had this, let me say, uh, some activities that was almost guaranteed. So I opened a company and I was sure because I already had many things to do. I had the work, but something unexpected happened because the people who were running that company didn't like my choice to open my company, and so decided to cut me off. and, and I found myself here in Cyprus with nothing, a company and nothing else. And I had to start it from scratch. And then I really don't know why, but maybe I bumped into some kind of video by the Tate brothers, and I told myself I need to learn something. I need to be aggressive because I was not really good in sales. I always thought that I am a great coach, but a really, really bad salesman. And so, yeah, let me check. I wrote to the support, the real world support, and I asked them, I already have my business. Is the real world something right for me? And they told me, yes, of course. So I joined the champions program immediately. And then I joined the business campus with the mighty Professor Arno. And in few weeks, I started to make money because I think that it's like it for me. It's like being totally in a new environment where people really are committed, where there is accountability, where you have lessons, but are real lessons where you really learn something that you apply. And I think that the most important thing for me has been the learning the work ethic, the commitment. And now I think that all the things that I do in one day last year, maybe in 3 or 4 days, something like that. It's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but that's. And of course, I became much better in sales thanks to the business lessons, and I started to make money, and now I'm happy.
Okay, so need some clarification there, just to make sure I'm following. So, you
Yeah.
started your own company in Cyprus, while being in a different company, then that company threw you out because they found out you're doing your own thing. So then you were left with like not sure what you're doing. So then you joined the real world. And then
Yes.
what lessons did you implement from the business mastery campus to then grow your own business? And how did that go?
The first the first thing that I implemented and I saw immediate results had been the concept of the follow up, of following up. And then I went through all my contacts in my phone, all the people I worked with in the past years, and I made a list. I texted them, how about a small call, because I have great news I want to share. I opened the company and blah 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 and all this thing, and I started to sell my services to people who were to the hot market. And then I built my, let me say, my sales process and started to work. I started also to work on to creating content. And one thing that you maybe don't know is that a few months later, I enrolled also my 15 years old in the real world because I find it really helpful also for him. He started to learn video editing, and it works for me. Yeah, yeah, it's great. I love it. And yes, that's all. I think that the most important lesson for me has been the follow up, because I saw immediate result from that.
Mhm. And when you say your 15-year-old is doing video editing, so are you building a social media presence and he's helping you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's correct.
Mm.
Correct. Yes.
So, okay, so you said first you reached out to people you knew. What about trying to outreach to people you don't know? Have you been doing that and has that been working for you?
Yes, the strategy has been related to the let me say what's in the DAB course. So I started to create free content for people, like ebook, and building a, a good database of email addresses, and then started to propose, and then of course I received also many contacts from people, from unexpected people. So yeah, to be honest, is I don't do mm, outreach activity really in a big way. I'm more focused on producing content for specific audience and going straight, because I work with mostly with athletes. So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay. So how has finding clients been going for you? Like, has it been a lot easier now compared to before? What's the, like in general, what's the situation there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier now, and I think the most important reason because of the mindset. Because I was scared to sales. I was a little bit, scared when it comes to ask for money. But following the lessons, understanding what really means to sales, to sell my services, has been really helpful. And of course, as I can say, as I'm a good professional, people then want to work with me again. And so I have many collaboration that are still ongoing since months. So that's much more effective.
Good. And is this enough to actually help you get by day to day, or do you need to get a different job? Or are you fully sustaining yourself off of the performance
Yeah,
coaching?
yeah. I can fully sustain myself. The company is going well, and now my wife will come with me here. Yeah, yes, today.
Hmm.
Today is for her the last day in her job, because she quit, because now everything, she will come with me here with our two cats in Cyprus. with the sea in front of us, because it it's like a dream that comes true, because we always thought, wow, it would be great to live near the sea, and now here we go.
Amazing.
Thanks also to thanks to thanks to all my effort, and thanks to the real world, of course.
Amazing. So, if you were to give figures for how much you've made that you can relate to the real world, what would that be?
Yeah, I think I joined the real world more or less 11, let me say 1 year ago, 1 year ago, more or less. And since then, I made something like 140,000 euro.
Mhm.
So it's a good number.
Mhm.
Maybe if you told me, if you if you uh, if you if you told me this 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, I would have, no, there's no way to do that. No, not that number. Maybe
Mhm.
3, 4K per month would be great, but not this number. And I'm looking forward to grow again. Of course, I will not stop here.
Indeed. So yeah, amazing. And now you've moved to Cyprus. Your wife is coming over as well, and you're fully
Yeah,
supporting everyone because of your performance coaching business, which at one point you ended up being in Cyprus with no income, nothing, and now yeah, in a year you built up to
yeah.
100.
Can I say I was in the shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally the
um,
shit. Now, no more shit.
yep. Okay, so I do wonder with the things you've done in your life, they required a lot of mental fortitude. So, is Tate's messaging, the things he talks about, does that resonate with you, or do you not listen much to it?
Totally. Uh, the, the 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 fundamental messages by Andrew Tate, by the Tate brothers, found me perfectly in accordance. And I told you, I enrolled in the real world also my son. Despite, you have to know, also in Italy, Andrew is not, you know, well, is not loved. Also in
Mhm.
Italy, it's completely misunderstanding. There is a completely misunderstood by the message. But I really appreciate, and I really feel connected to the message. And now I wanted also my son to be part of this, because I'm sure these I'm sure the real world will help him in his life to achieve his dreams. Now he's working with me as a video editor, but he's a drummer, he's a musician, and the mindset that he's building will help him doing whatever he wants. And he started to go to gym, of course.
Mhm.
That's cool. And I see his commitment to complete all the checklist, to do everything. It's something that you really don't see in the young generation right now. So I'm proud of that.
Beautiful. And I'm wondering, uh, for people listening, I'm sure they'd value your perspective on this, because most people, if not everyone, at some point they end up let's say they set goals for themselves and end up straying from those goals, whether it's a very rough day, so then when they get back from work maybe they go on social media instead of doing what they need to do. Like, many there will be times when someone will stray from the path that they set for themselves. So what kind of advice do you give for getting back on that path, or not straying too far, or anything along those lines?
I think that mm, most of the people quit on their goals. First of all, because they don't set any goals. They live day by day, and they are dragged by events without a direction. So the first thing that someone should do is define where you want to go, and then you have to be honest with yourself. You have to build something like an action plan accordingly to your position. If you are out of shape, if you eat every day junk food and you want to get in shape, maybe you will not enroll in a marathon in the next month. So start with little step. Why most of the people at the end of the year, everyone says, yeah, from the new year I will run every day 10 kilometers, and I will eat only healthy food, and blah blah blah, and I will read, and I will do and this and that. But it's too much of a leap for them, and then they quit. So one step at a time, without rush, but every day, every day, every day. And something that I always say to my clients, that it's something that completely resonates with the Andrew Tate message, is that I work also with women, of course, but with my kind of clients, also women are really driven to goals. So when you have to perform, you have to always remember that your emotions are not part of the game. You have to cut the emotion out from your decisions. Emotions are good, are helpful, but you don't have to let your emotions decide what you have to do. You have to decide what you need to do, what you have to do, and the emotions, it's not part of the game, this game.
Yep, yep, yep. Earlier you said many people don't set their goals. So in your case, what are your goals? What plans do you have for yourself if you were to lay it out in the short term, medium term, and long term, just to give some perspective from your side?
Yeah. One of my goals is to buy a Mercedes G-Wagon. This is something that it's in my head from I don't remember even when. And then right now, my main goal is to give the let me say the most. I want to give freedom to my loved ones, to my wife, and to my son. Basically, this is my most important goal. I would love to help them in doing what they want to do, to support them. And of course, I want to grow my business. I want to continue to, get bigger, working with athletes, always with higher level, and make more money. This year, I want to break the 150 key euros. So yeah, and of course I want to train. I went back to Muay Thai.
Mhm.
Yeah, and despite most of the people say that it's too late, I also can say that I started to do all these things 1 year ago when I was 50. So it's too late. It's not a valid excuse. Find
Yeah,
another one.
yeah, yeah. Okay, very cool. So I'll wrap up there for this interview. In future, we can do a follow-up to get a progress update and see how you're doing. I think then we can dive even deeper into everything going on. But for now, to end everything off, since the real world benefited you in building your consultant in your performance coaching company, what advice do you have to people who are unsure about joining because they're thinking they might get scammed for $50?
Yes. Yeah. Take the risk.
Just that, just take the risk. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think that yes, take the risk. If you are able to risk this amount of money, let's do it. Do it because you can find another level. You can really find another level of people. You can find with people. You can chat with people. You can find really really uh, so much stuff in there,
Mhm.
but with a specific order. You will not get lost. You will find people that will help you. And if you are not willing to risk $50, I think that's it's like a bet. Do you think $50 can be used to bet on yourself?
Mhm.
If you don't trust yourself, it's not the real world that will help you. But if you trust yourself, put this $50, join, but not don't join to see if if it's a nice place. Join knowing that you have to work, and if you put all your effort and your commitment, your life will change in an instant. That's it. It happened to me, and I met many people that did the same thing. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Awesome.
like take the risk. It's like take the risk, but it's not a risk.
Mhm.
It's it's not a risk if you're willing to put what it needs to be done. That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, very nicely said. And now for people who want to find out more about what you do or to contact you, where could they do so?
Yeah, they maybe the easy path is to go to my website.
Mhm.
I can say it, but it's a long one because my name is not Max. My real name is Massimiliano.
Mhm.
So maybe we will write it on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somewhere.
I'll add it to the
Anyway,
description of the video.
yeah, perfect, perfect. Yes, on some social media. Yeah, I have a good presence on social media. Most of my presence is in Italian, but you can maybe learn Italian
Okay.
language.
So I'll add website and social medias to the description of the video. So anyone
Yeah.
who's interested, check in description. And yeah,
Yes.
Max or Massimilian, how did you say it? Was that correct? Massimilian?
Massimiliano.
Massimiliano. Massimiliano,
Yes.
thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Was an unexpected one to hear that. Yeah, you ran ultra marathons. Now you're a
Yeah.
performance coach. You basically a year ago was starting from zero with building your own company. You were left with nothing. Recently moved to Cyprus, and yeah, just built everything from scratch to
Yes.
140,000 currently. And I'm sure you'll continue scaling that even further. You've gotten your son involved. Your 15-year-old son is now doing video editing, which is a skill he can use for future as well. So yeah, it's just amazing how you've utilized the platform and how much benefit it has given you. and I wish you all the best for future.
Thank you, Rokas, and thank you to the real world.